Talk about Indiabulls Ventures now. Remember, we spoke about one stock on Friday. Today, we're speaking about Indiabulls Ventures. That stock has grown 12 times in 2017 alone. Darshan is here with more details on what led to such a sharp rise in the stock price. Darshan.
Yeah, so Neeraj, what we're seeing is Indiabulls Ventures. That's a massive surge in just a YTD basis. That's almost 12 times in a single year. So that's the move that's there. Now, let's take a look at what's happening for the company, what the company does, what changed for the company. Basically, first, if we look at Indiabulls, all of them have been actually multi-baggers as far as this year is concerned. It's the second largest Indiabulls group company by market cap. It's overtaken Indiabulls Real Estate. It's grown up 12%, 12 times. Indiabulls Real Estate itself was up 3 times. The other group companies, that Store One Infra Holding is up 10 times. And Soril Infra is up almost 3 times. So these are also part of the Indiabulls group. Indiabulls Housing Finance obviously is a nifty company, and that has also managed to double. So the Indiabulls group itself has given tremendous returns. We'll talk about Indiabulls Ventures now, which is one of the biggest companies in terms of growth that has happened. Now, what it does, basically initially what it was a retail broking and wealth management company. It realized what it needed to do and then shifted focus to the consumer and MSME lending. So pretty much wanted to be something like what a Bajaj Finance does. They also have an asset reconstruction company which they launched recently. That's what they have stated in the annual report. And the new business is the gold loans in the rural and semi-rural centers. So basically this is what it does. Now, in terms of in terms of what happened, initially everything was part of the Indiabulls group. Everything got demerged. In 2007, this got demerged from Indiabulls Housing Finance, and it was a separate company. So it was a 1:1 split that happened for the company. The return ratios not the best. They were average. The return on ROE is good at almost 20%. ROA and ROC are slightly lower for the company compared to its peers. Now look at the valuations. They are expensive. On a P basis of this year is 65 times. On next year is almost 54 times, and even on an EV to EBITDA basis, it's much higher. Even if you do a comparison as far as what it does, it's trading much expensive than Bajaj Finance, which is the largest company now. It's trading at 13 times compared to 5.3 times for Bajaj Finance. Capital First is almost 2.3 times. So this is the valuation picture. But revenues have managed to grow, and they've grown. See, from FY16, when they, for the full year, they did a revenue of 376 crores. Then they did a revenue of 409 crores. In the first half only, they've done almost 321 crores, which means they will exceed the last year number. And look at the EPS also. So they managed to put the EPS in for the first half, which was as high as the FY16 number. So they are showing numbers. Their revenues are growing. Now, this is the consumer business. Look at that. From the third quarter FY17, the revenues was 3 crores, moved to 30, 40 crores, 60 crores. And in the second quarter, they've done 88 crores top line only from the consumer business. So that's the key trajectory for Indiabulls Ventures. Now, look at the other thing, what works for Indiabulls Ventures. First of all, growing consumer lending business, that is doing extremely well. You've seen the growth rates for Bajaj Finance. Secondly, they've launched this Dhani app, which is aiding to faster disbursement. So everything is on an app. You don't need to go to a store. You put in your Aadhaar card number, and that is where you will get the disbursement. So that's the new thing that they have tried. They've gotten MS Dhoni as a brand ambassador. Aggressive branding campaigning is done. So consumer business is something that they did. Recently, CLSA added the company to the model portfolio with a 3 percentage point weightage that worked for the company, and it has cash and investments of almost 3,000 crores on its book. So basically, it's the consumer business that is driving revenues. Basically, if you put in your Aadhaar card and instantly you'll come to know whether you'll be eligible for a loan or not. That is as opposed to going to a store and getting a consumer finance. So that's the key that they are working on, and that is why. Obviously, with some risk will always be there for for some of the companies. Competitive landscape. There's no taking that Bajaj Finance may do this app, or a Capital First may do it. But so that is the challenge. They are first, and that is why they are getting that advantage. And secondly, valuations are extremely aggressive. They need to prove their mettle with terms of their financials to justify these valuations. But nevertheless, a 12-time return in a single year, a big multi-bagger is something that we saw in Indiabulls Ventures this year.